Hello everyone and welcome to the Captain's Video Vlog. We are Saturday, March the 12th. Yeah, 12th. It's kind of a complicated word to say when you're not used to, all the little sounds in English like and having that sound following an F, So yeah, that's not relevant at all. We're in 2016, and I think my body has reached its limits, basically. I mean, for several days now, I've managed to, to go to sleep while still at night, because obviously, the less sunlight you get during your sleep, the more your sleep might do to recuperate. Actually, um, I know that the first day it was probably too sudden for my body. Then again, it wasn't that much of an unwelcome surprise to go sleep early, since I had slept like 5 or 6 hours, maybe 8 would be a more accurate number. But yeah, I hadn't slept a lot in the past couple of days, including a day where I wanted to go to sleep, but was like, I have to write an application letter. Yeah, that was last week already. That's probably the worst that could happen to my body, having to stay up for so many hours. Um, I mean, obviously, I've done it times and times and times again when I was in prepa, because I wasn't good at managing my schedule. I still am not, but at least I don't have to write 10 pages of literature, all based on theories that are more than a century old. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I film this now, but I feel that I could have done it after WWE Roadblock, which happens to air in like half an hour. But I feel like I'm going to have to power through this show, not because it's going to be boring. I mean, it's a show where Dean Ambrose is facing Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's a show where Brock Lesnar faces Bray Wyatt. It's a show where the Revival, which is a kind of dumb name for a tag team, but yeah, Dawson and Wilder, Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson, the Revival, defend their NXT tag titles against Enzo and Cass, which probably means that I should have watched the last couple of weeks of NXT 2. I'm saying that I have to power through it because look at these eyes, huh? It's 1:30 in the morning and I'm already having, flashbacks of times where I slept even less. To be fair though, I didn't sleep a lot last night for some reason. I went to sleep around 3, fell asleep during a video, suddenly woke up again at the end of that video, just to tell you how long that video actually was. And then I was like, well, the video is over, I guess I can fall asleep. It was around 4 in the morning. I woke up at 9, so I slept 5 hours, which is not a lot. I mean, I'm not saying that, oh yeah, I'd like to sleep 8 to 9 hours like it's recommended, but at this point I'm fairly convinced that maybe I actually do. So anyway, yeah, I'm really pissed right now. I mean, I've been pissed since ever since the end of the match between Marseilles and L'Oreal. I was like, what the fuck? And everyone was like, yeah, mark my words, uh, the coach is going to say that the artificial turf is the reason why Marseilles played so poorly, and actually they weren't that wrong. He didn't blame the players. He didn't blame the turf for the way the players played. Even though I kind of want to believe that playing on an artificial turf when you're used to play on natural grass is complicated. I don't want to refute that at all. But anyway, that's not the first time Marseille is playing in Lorient. Some of these players were there last year. Obviously, Mandanda was there. He made the best match in his career, apparently, with 9 saves. At this point, I'm really wondering, aren't the players actually doing so poorly so that Mandanda can shine and probably take the number 1 spot for the goalkeeper at the Euros? I don't know, but yeah, 30th match in the season, 15th draw. That's 1 draw every 2 match, which is I mean, at this point in the last season, we were in the middle of a bad streak where the team couldn't win a game, and everyone was like, haha, Bielsa, haha, he can't win a thing, except Bielsa, he actually proposed stuff, I don't know why exactly Michel decided to ditch the 4-4-2. I mean, it was doing pretty well. Everyone is saying that Batshuayi isn't really doing his best when he's in a position where he's the only striker, and yet, hey, today was the return of the 4-2-3-1, huh? I mean, couldn't you try the 4-3-3? I mean, if you don't want to play in 4-4-2, at least try that. You have more than enough offensive players to do something like that. So why do you still go back to the fucking 4-2-3-1, huh? At one point in the match, Batshuayi, you can tell anything, you can say anything about his level, the technical level not being there, or being too individual, but at the same time, god damn it, when the midfield is 20 meters behind, you cannot always ask your striker, especially when he's the only one who has the ability to score, to just go back 20 meters. At this point, just go without a striker. I don't know. I don't know. The coach is really saying stuff as if he was going to quit, even though he says, "Nah, I'm here until 2017." I'm like, holy shit, that's a long time, and that's just a year from now, huh? And I'm like, yeah. He said that he's not going to follow the players, because Mendy re-injured himself. He's going to be out for 1 week or 2, and obviously he's not. There's something about him and his behavior that is not professional, but that's not the coach who's supposed to say that, especially not in front of cameras, in front of the whole press. He's not supposed to say that in press conference, especially not after the kind of shitty game they did. He has to, question himself. He's tried so far 2 systems. One is a complete disaster. It's the 4-2-3-1, and one isn't doing as advertised, which is the 4-4-2. And for some reason, he's always going to blame something else. This time it was the players. We, as supporters can say that the players have been playing shittily. The whole performance of the team was a complete disgrace. It's not up to the coach to say that, because he's supposed to make block, to be on the side of his players, not on the same side as us. And that's the main thing about being a coach, Then again, I mean, that's the kind of coach who says, yeah, I might go to the Real Madrid, I think I have the qualifications. And honestly, experts were saying that, were thinking the same, because every time Ancelotti was fucking up at the Real Madrid, his name was coming back and forth. I mean, obviously that must do something. That must mean something. Or I could just have my thumb up my ass and be like, ha 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 ha. Ah, they're so dumb. But yeah, the worst thing is that he might be able to win the French Cup, and that alone will have more impact than Bielsa's system, and because that's a line in the history of the club, and Bielsa won a grand amount of zero thing, zero trophy. He won the RLD trophy, but that's basically, hey, that's glorified friendly. Yeah. I mean, when you're a fan of Marseilles, you have to learn how not to get too concerned, because at one point, Marseilles is pretty much like nature. At one point, we will be great again, but might not be now. Yeah, we're seeing very short term, because that's always the thing. If you're not doing well, what next? Bielsa wasn't doing well at some points, but you could see that his system was creating attractive football, and at these points you could see that we were seeing him stay on the long term, maybe 3 or 4 seasons, just have his style becoming the norm for the team, and the next coach not coming around and just sweeping it all under the rug and saying, haha, my time is now, being all John Cena about it. And yeah, that's basically what Michel is doing. So you can kind of see why I'm pissed. But let's not talk about things that aren't too good. I mean, Isla was very good. Isla is the one player who might actually be good for the team among the whole colony of players that are currently on loan. I mean, Lucas Silva wasn't as bad as the rest of the matches that he played. He wasn't stellar anyway. But yeah, I mean, what can I say really? Only 8 matches remain, and the team is 6 points off the podium. That's gonna be tough to even catch a berth for the Europa League. I mean, sometimes I wanna hope. Sometimes I watch a match and I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Especially when next week we're playing Rennes at home. That's scary. That's really scary, because Rennes is doing especially well. I think they have a match tomorrow against who might that be? Angers, I think. We'll see how they do against Angers. I'm really afraid of Ousmane Dembélé because holy shit, this dude, he's really good. He shouldn't go in another league. He should stay in Rennes for as long as he possibly can and just hone his skills and just not get too full of himself because he's got a lot of talent, but he might go crash and burn like Marvin Martin a couple years ago, who was supposed to be the next Zidane, and then he left Sochaux to go to Lille, and that everyone knows what happened. He became a bench warmer. So there's that. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow, where I will probably do a little recap of WWE Roadblock, if that's not too garbled in my mind, because I will have mostly watched that in a semi-asleep state, Goodbye.